Milwaukee Bucks, the team that made, I can't even say the biggest move in the past year, because so many moves were made in the past year. You had the Kevin Durant trade, the Kyrie Irving trade, the Dame trade, of course, which was the one I'm talking about. The Kristaps trade, the Chris Paul trade, the Chris Paul trade again, the Drew Holiday. There have been so many big players that have been traded. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. So many good players have been traded in the past year or so. It's crazy. But here we are in 2023, and Damian Lillard is a Milwaukee Buck. This duo, first of all, actually, last year the Bucks were 58-24, first in the East, the best team in the NBA. Giannis was playing at a near MVP level, or basically MVP level. He was amazing. Brook Lopez was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. Drew Holiday was doing his part. Chris Middleton was doing alright, and the team was just doing great. And then they lost in 5 games in the first round to the Miami Heat. Mike Budenholzer got fired. They brought in Adrian Griffin. And recently, Terry Stotts, another coach that they hired to help them out. Also, I can't remember if he quit or he got fired, but he's not there anymore because of something that happened in practice, an altercation between him and the head coach, and then yelling at each other and blah, blah, blah. It escalated, and boom, he's off the team. So now, this team is still very, very good, obviously. They did lose some pieces. But first thing I gotta talk about is Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard has consistently been a top 3 to 4 point guard in the NBA for the past, 6 years now? No, not 6 years. 5 years? I'll say 4 years. He's been a top, 5 at the very least point guard in the NBA. And now, because before, he was just playing with nothing but CJ McCollum, maybe Anthony Simons some years, Jeremy Grant. So he didn't really have a second star beside him. I mean, he had LaMarcus Aldridge, but that was young Dame. Now this is Dame nearly at the peak of his powers, playing with a 2-time MVP, 1-time Finals MVP champion, Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So, when you have these two as a duo, it is nasty. Of course, some duos don't work, but this duo, they complement each other so well. I talked about this already in my Dame video. I've talked so much about Damian Lillard in the past few months. Dame is one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA, and he's just one of the best point guards in the NBA, as I said. And Giannis is one of the best big men in the NBA. And when you have those two, there's obviously going to be that Dame and Giannis pick and roll that is going to be so deadly, man. Dame at the 3, he goes around the screen from Giannis. If you leave Dame too open, he's going to pop that 3 on you. But if you leave Giannis too open, he's getting to the basket. And if you leave either of them with just one guy guarding him, they can take that matchup easily. So this duo is nasty. I don't know who is stopping this duo. Good luck. Good luck to all the teams in the East. I mean, of course, there have been deadly duos that have been stopped, but this team just complements each other so well. I don't know what other teams are gonna do. We'll see. But of course, there is gonna be it's gonna take some time to learn how to work together, because that's what happens for every team, or just about every team. Every team needs a year or two to get their new player, especially when it's a star, to get them acquainted to the rest of the team and to get to work together to actually be good. And we'll see how long it takes for this Bucks team. They have some good coaches over there, so we'll see. But losing Terry Stotts might hurt that development a bit. We'll see how much it hurts it. Hopefully they don't do too bad, but you know what I'm saying? I still think that the Bucks are going to be a really good team. Then you have Chris Middleton. And Chris Middleton was the secondary star before, and now he's the 3rd star, which is wild, because he was the Robin to Giannis Batman before. And now he's set aside as the third best player on this team, which is low-key wild. And of course, people didn't see the best things from him last year. And people are now thinking, oh, he's getting older, he's not going to be as good. So when you think about it from that perspective, the Bucks getting Dame is perfect for Chris Middleton, because if he is getting older and regressing, that means his role that he should get should be reduced. And with Damian Lillard on the team, his role is definitely going to be reduced. He's definitely going to be more of a catch and shoot guy rather than an ISO guy. And I mean, he definitely can come in ISO moments and hoop, but if you have Dame there, you're not really going to need another ISO guy, because you already have one of the best ISO players in the game. So Chris Middleton, I definitely think, will have a good time with this new addition. And the same thing for Brook Lopez, because Brook Lopez, he could just do the same thing he was doing last year. Block shots, hit threes, play in the post, rebound. That's all he really needs to do, and this team is good. There is a big loss that they have from this, because their perimeter defense goes down by a bunch. Because you had Drew Holiday, who was one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, and then you lose him. And of course, the defense will suffer from that. But you got Damian Lillard in return, so you can't really complain. Still, though, the defense is something that you got to worry about, especially with losing Grayson Allen as well, who's a pretty good defender. We'll see how big of an impact it makes, but still, they have an amazing starting lineup. My at least projected starting lineup for them was Dame, Malik Beasley. It's going to be either Malik Beasley or Pat Connaughton, one of those two. Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. And off the bench, Campaign, Marjano Beauchamp, Pat Connaughton, Jay Crowder, and Bobby Portis. Their bench, if I'm being honest, is not great. It's not really good at all, because a lot of these guys are either not as good as they used to be or untested. Campaign and Jay Crowder are two players who played for that Suns team that made the finals, right? It was Crowder on the... I'm pretty sure that Jay Crowder was on the Suns at that time, because he made the finals with the Heat and then he made the finals with the Suns. So both of those players made the finals with the Suns in 2021. And they aren't as good as they used to be back then. But you never know, maybe they could have a good year. Like Campaign, we didn't really see much from him in the past few years, but ever since that championship run. But you never know, maybe this year Campaign can come back and really be the backup point guard that this Bucks team needs, because their bench is not great. I mean, Pat Connaughton and Bobby Portis are two solid bench players, especially Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis, you know you're going to get scoring from him, and he's going to do what he needs, like what you want him to do off the bench. And Pat Connaughton can be decent. He can hit some threes, get to the basket a little, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Jay Crowder and Campaign can be good. I just don't know what to expect from them, because we haven't seen much from them in the past few times that we've been seeing them. And then the very end of their bench is not great. I definitely see them having a solid 9-man rotation, but after that it gets kind of rough. And especially in the season when you can have injuries that happen to you, and if you're not prepared for those injuries, you might be in trouble. Because let's say Chris Middleton or Dame or Giannis, I mean, Dame and Giannis have... Well, not really. I don't know about Giannis, but Dame has definitely been a pretty healthy player in the season. But let's say Giannis gets injured, then your next best power forward, you're probably going to run Bobby Portis, but off the bench, your next best center is Robin Lopez. So I don't know how much I believe in this team's bench, but they'll probably make it work, especially when it comes to playoff time. Because in the regular season, your bench definitely matters a lot more. Because injuries can happen, and if injuries happen and you don't have enough players in your bench, you might be cooked. But in the playoffs, you're probably running like a solid 9-8-man rotation sometimes. And if you're running a small rotation, you're not going to need as many of the players off your bench. So if you look at it from that perspective, this team as a playoff team is looking fine. But as a regular season team, they're still going to be good just because they have Dame and Giannis, and those two are players who do show out in the regular season. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Their depth isn't great, like I've said a million times, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. They have great shooters and great defenders. Well, not great anymore, because I would say great if they still had Drew and Grayson Allen, but good defenders. They still have good defenders, but the shooting is still there. Dame, Chris Middleton, Malik Beasley, Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, Jay Crowder, like the list goes on and on. They have so many great shooters. It's just the defense is a little questionable, and we'll see what happens with the defense. But yeah, when you have Giannis defensively and Brook Lopez in the post, your defense is definitely going to be above average. It's just a perimeter defense with the loss of Drew Holiday. I'm not so sure about it, but we'll see. We'll see, man. I can't wait for the regular season because we'll be able to see how these teams perform with the new additions, the losses, and what happens, man. We'll see. But I'm excited. The season starts technically today, which is probably when you guys are seeing this. So, yeah. I will be releasing more videos. They'll be coming soon. Be ready. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below any tips, tricks, or topics, and tell me what you think about the Bucks for this upcoming season, man. Because they're definitely going to be a good team. I'm just a little worried. I do have my worries. I do have slight worries, slight doubts, you know what I'm saying? But tell me what you think. And yeah, that's about all I have to say. I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day. I'm out.